As you know, I've asked Congress to raise or suspend the debt limit. Since 1789, the United States has always paid its bills on time, and it must continue to do so. In my assessment and those of economists across the board, a default on our debt would trigger an economic and financial catastrophe. I urge all members of Congress to come together to address the debt limit without conditions and without waiting until the last minute.
So can you just give us your coolest, most detached assessment of what we're seeing? This seems like a big deal, is it?
Well, I mean, I can't believe that you're not allayed by listening to Treasury Secretary Yellen. I mean, clearly she's got the situation in hand. I also am just stunned, Tucker, that you don't believe that diversity, equity, and inclusion are the root of a sound financial system. I mean, come on, where have you been for the last year, Tucker?
It's time for the kids to be quiet. And, let's get some real economists here who aren't just, repeating Atlantic articles. This is insane.
It is absolutely insane. And the layers of insanity. I mean, I can't even believe the videos you showed about the people at SVB, focused on the women's ski vacations and whatnot. It's just nonsense. And you're right. What we're facing right now is really serious. I mean, we are on the brink of a 2008 style financial crisis, and I'm not trying to be hyperbolic. In fact, you and I discussed this at length in our long-form interview several months ago. And at the time, the Fed hadn't even raised rates nearly as high as they have today. And I was saying, look, you don't raise rates in record fashion on an economy toting record leverage at maximum speculation and expect no consequence. I mean, this was clearly going to happen, and now we're seeing the weak links in the chain break. The areas where speculation was most rampant and most egregious are clearly coming down, and they're doing so as they seem to do in all the three-letter acronyms, just like they did in 2008. We're back to the three-letter acronyms, and there'll be a lot more of those. And frankly, I think this is the unintended consequence of the Fed's monetary policy,
yes,
layered with really bad fiscal policy on top of it. But essentially, they've been encouraging people to take reckless risks for years just because you had no alternative. You could get 0% sitting in a T-bill or having your money in the bank, or you could run out and you could speculate. And that's what they've done, and that's all coming back to bite them hard. And we've got some major consequences coming at us. And I think it's going to devolve very rapidly because of all the leverage that's been built up here.
It's exactly right. If you treated your children like the Fed has treated Wall Street, your kids would all be in rehab. And what they've done is bad, no doubt. Stephanie Pomboy, I appreciate your wisdom on this. Thank you.
Thank you, Tucker. Pleasure.
Welcome to the Crypto Teacher. And I come back with that video just to make you think.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.
And guys, we know Janet Yellen is warning about the debt ceiling. And we know that is very important. And we know when it comes to SVB, the Fed shrinking liquidity, hurting these regional banks and the bigger banks, we know that's important. But we know anytime we have a distraction, something big is going on. Now we have Saudi Arabia, Iran restore relations and deal brokered by China. And we know the Middle East is moving towards China. And we know the reason why America was able to take over the globe is the deal with Saudi Arabia. We know the petrol oil dollar. And of course, because the dollar is ending, and what's the best move for Saudi Arabia? That's right, move over to China. And what is China still using? Oil. They're not moving away from oil. And we know what the climate agenda is all about. But right in front of your eyes, guys, we're seeing the fall of America to Babylon with the United States world reserve currency and the rise of the BRICS nations, Middle East, and the emerging markets rise. And we know the digital yuan is going to lead, backed by that digital SDR. And we know when they're going to flip the switch when we hear those drums are beating. And this time, guys, we know when the drums are beating, it's not going to be about physical wars. This time it's going to be cyber. We know the fourth industrial revolution is all about data. And we've been having a lot of cyber attacks and they're not making the mainstream media news. And they're telling us like 2 weeks later. Because just like the C word, just like this war in Ukraine and Russia, just like these banking collapses, guys, they're running a test. And remember, I told you we're less than 24 months before they activate the real plan. And remember, the crypto teacher told you, because he knows when it comes to the New World Order, it's all planned out. You have a wonderful day.
We've seen a number of companies doing this. Tesla, big announcement, Ford, GM, Mattel, and Honeywell. All moving to Mexico. That could be just the beginning. Morgan Stanley predicting Mexico could see a $155 billion surge in exports to the U.S. over a 5-year period. The cherry on top of all of that, inflation in the country has fallen to 2021 levels, which gives policymakers their more runway to potentially slow down their monetary tightening again and help their economy engineer a soft landing. And
going to a different economy, and we're going to be learning more about that as we go. But clearly, we're learning that things can be done from remote locations. We're learning that technology can replace people even more than we thought.
We're not going back to the same economy. We're recovering, but to a different economy, and it'll be one that is more leveraged to technology. And I worry that that is going to make it even more difficult than it was for many workers.
In Silicon Valley, and my friends who work in technology know that what we did to the manufacturing workers, we are now going to do to the retail workers, the call center workers, the fast food workers, the truck drivers, and then even bookkeepers, accountants, insurance agents, lawyers, and on through the economy. So what happened to the manufacturing workers is a very clear sign.
And so we'll import Chinese-based CBDC technology. So it's going to be CBDC in a box provided to you by the People's Bank of China.
Crypto Teacher and the New World Order book, plus the 3 kids books. It's time to re-educate. Also, new to cryptos, Coinbase, Bitrue, Binance. Do not forget book links and crypto links are in the description. The stock channel, guys. Don't forget to go like, subscribe, spread everywhere. You have your Kobo, your chip stocks, your banking, your gaming. While everybody's sitting at home, get home stocks, the Seaver, the biotech stocks. And while everybody's at home wishing they were still getting that free money, what are they doing? Drinking and smoking weed. Don't forget about those stocks, and you have a wonderful day. The most powerful person in the world is the storyteller. The storyteller sets the vision, values, and agenda of an entire generation to come. Steve Jobs. And guys, you know I truly believe in this. When you look at the New World Order, they're the storytellers. And that's the reason why I wrote my New World Order book. But guys, now it's time to change the current generation. And I wrote 3 kids books. You know I love the Trinity because I understand the power that's in it. So I have 3 books. We have an opportunity to change the generation, to educate, not just me, but I want to show you that I take action on a daily basis. And I want you to take action on a daily basis. Whether it's your job, whether it's in your community, we have an opportunity right now to educate the masses. I posted this on my Twitter account. Please share, but this is a short clip of the 3 books. There's going to be a clothing line and action figures. Please get these books for your kids, nephews, cousins, friends, so therefore we can start the re-education now. Because as we see, the 4th Industrial Revolution foundation is definitely here. Robots, algorithms, drones, taking humanity out the picture. We have to re-educate. But let's get into the video.
Part 1. King Joshua and Drama Tam save the village. Part 2. King Joshua and Drama Tam save New York from COVID Stories 3. Part 3. King Joshua and Drama Tam goes to China.
It's mandatory to get part 1, part 2, and part 3 of this series. It's time to re-educate Generation Z.